Alright guys, a little forewarning before we get today's video started. I recorded this video twice and both times the files were corrupted, so I'm a little bit ticked off right now. I'm going to try and bring the same level of energy, but I do want to get this video out for all of you guys who did comment, so please bear with me. Anyways guys, welcome back to another episode of Matt's Mind. This is the video Q&A series in which you guys, the viewers, go ahead and comment your questions or topics for discussion down below in the comments, and of course I do my best to answer them. Today we have episode 11, and of course if I miss your guys' questions, please feel free to comment it again on the most recent video. That way I kind of know what questions are still in the wanting of answered. So first question today comes from Forever Lego Studios. He asked, my question this week is, what is your ideal MOC you would love to see built, whether by you or someone else? I think the two MOCs that I have been really waiting for somebody to make, or even myself down the road, I think are going to be Geonosis and Kamito in terms of a large scale MOC. Like I'm talking in terms of like Solid Brick Studios Kashyyyk or like Rich Boy J / Garrett Bricks like crate, like something that massive built with Geonosis or Kamito. Obviously the biggest problem with Geonosis making that large of a MOC is going to be the access to pieces, especially the darker orange colors, which are way more movie accurate, which obviously if you're a big MOC builder, usually you want to go for movie accuracy. So I see that as the biggest sort of obstacle for making a large Geonosis MOC. And then also in terms of Kamito, I think the only Kamito MOC that I've seen that I really do love is going to be from the Brick Den or Alex. I believe he's over in the UK. It's been quite a while since he's actually uploaded that like Kamito MOC. But again, I'm talking like giant scale, like 4x4, just like huge, stupid, ridiculous size MOCs. Obviously, a really big problem with Kamito is getting like the Technic structure for inside of the columns to hold up gunships and the platforms. Obviously, there's a range of options you can do with Kamito. You can do the platforms, you can build the clone factory, you can build everything. You really could do anything you wanted to. I'd say if I had to choose two MOCs that I'm really waiting for somebody to knock out of the park, it'd have to be Geonosis and Kamito. And if I had to choose one, I'd say Geonosis. Next question here comes from Lego Guy 1111266. Do you think a UCS Mustafar set could work? Well, I don't think it could, and let me tell you why. Because basically, if Lego was to make a UCS Mustafar, I would assume they'd have to make it like a playset oriented style, so they'd have to do something similar to Cloud City, whether that be the new one or the old one, or Hoth or something like that. So obviously with Cloud City, there are different rooms, right? We have the little Luke I am your father scene, we have the dining hall scene, we have the platform, and then with Hoth we sort of have the bunker and different buildings and different like turrets, stuff like that. And when it comes to Mustafar, I guess Lego could sort of go with the route of making a couple of different iconic scenes. So for example, you could do the lava river, you could do like the two platforms in the lava with Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting each other. And I guess a really cool play feature that Lego could include is that giant like pillar that eventually falls over due to like the lava and just all the damage. I think that actually make for a pretty cool play feature with the set. And I'd also assume that they would have to include the control room, something like that. Obviously the area or like the walkway or the catwalk where both Anakin and Obi-Wan like use the force push and then they just push each other back. Now unfortunately, I don't think Lego would actually make a UCS Mustafar. I don't think so. That's not to say at all that they wouldn't. However, the way I envision it, the only way I envision it working is making it a UCS playset style, again like the Hoth or like the Cloud City. So I don't think that they will do it. However, if we did get it, I would hope for some exclusive figures, stuff like that. It would be a really cool idea, and I'd be excited for what Lego would come up with, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Next question here comes from Maniac for Bricks. Which version of the TIE is your favorite, Lego or not, such as the TIE Advanced, Hunter, Interceptor? Now, for those of you who do not know, there are literally dozens of TIE variants, whether that be from the movies solely or from like animated cartoons or even from extended and like lore from comics, stuff like that. I would say my favorite definitely has to be the TIE Bomber, whether that be Lego or not. Obviously, Lego has never made a UCS TIE Bomber. I would really hope that they do make a UCS TIE Bomber in the future. I think that'd be a super dope set. I'm trying to put a picture up on the screen right now, but this is a picture of a custom MOC of a TIE Bomber that someone's made. And I just think I love the shape of it. I love the fact that there is a cockpit and then like another fuel cell or whatever it's called right next to it. There's also a famous creator by the name of Jarek who actually made a whole line of TIE variant fighters. I believe they're on Brick Vault if I'm not mistaken. I do want to eventually build all those. I would definitely say the TIE Bomber has to be my favorite. There's also something called the TIE Defender, which is a pretty funky looking one. If you want to go ahead and look it up on Google or something, this is probably the first image that comes up. It's pretty unique, it's pretty funky. It looks like a Tri-Fighter in my opinion, like the Separatist droid Tri-Fighter. But I'd definitely say with without a doubt, the TIE Bomber has the nicest look in my opinion. Next question here comes from Mix the Bricks. Which Sith do you like the most? Now, without a doubt, it's definitely gotta be Darth Vader. It was sort of on the line, like I guess on the border between Vader and Darth Maul for me. Even though Maul went out like super easy, I am happy with how he was sort of revived in the Clone Wars. But going from movies solely, I think it really went to Vader without a doubt after Rogue One. Obviously, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Rogue One yet. But in the end of Rogue One, Darth Vader obviously just goes completely ham on all the rebel troopers inside the Tantive that he boards. Obviously, Vader goes really ham. He just lights up, he literally illuminates a darkened hallway with his badassery. So he chops down a whole bunch of rebel troopers on the ship, stuff like that. Obviously, Leia escapes in the Tantive 4, and that kind of leads us into Episode 4. But seeing that really sort of captured the idea and the process of what Vader is and how he sort of revolutionized villains in film history. Let's be honest here. He was just overall a super awesome villain. He's got the full black suit. He's got a really cool helmet. He sounds just pure evil. He's got a cape. He's got a red fire sword. Like, dude, that is like literally the coolest thing. So I think Vader is definitely going to be my favorite. Darth Maul probably be a close runner-up. Next question here comes from Blue Brick. Which of LEGO's modular buildings is your favorite? So the one that I own maybe 4 or 5 modular buildings. I'd say out of those 4 or 5, I'd probably have to say the diner is going to be my favorite. I think LEGO did a perfect job executing the way that they created the building itself, the diner itself. Be very reminiscent of like a 1940s, 50s, 60s era vibe. Obviously, myself, I was not alive during that time, and odds are you probably weren't either, but I think LEGO did a great job. Obviously, we've all grown up seeing these very iconic images of the retro sort of vibe in America in the 1900s. LEGO did a great job. I think the diner, the word diner on the front of the store itself looks fantastic. I obviously am a huge fan of like that little white portion that goes really straight up. The colors are great, the pink, white, and I think it's like a teal, blue, greenish color, whatever it is officially called. And then my favorite thing has to be the interior. Obviously, there is a lot of stuff going on inside the diner besides the restaurant on the first floor. On the next 2 floors, there is a bedroom, there is a sound recording booth, there's also a boxing ring, so cool stuff. I'm a huge fan of the diner, and I hope that LEGO reintroduces more sort of sets similar to that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Next question comes from Castle Productions. How often do you think LEGO will throw in Solo and Rogue One sets? To be honest with you, I don't think they will. Solo and Rogue One are well in the past now. They've each gotten 2 lines specific to Solo and then Rogue One, or at least lines where the majority of the sets released were having to do with their respective movies, so I don't think they will come back. I firmly believe and I firmly am on board with LEGO exploring the new content we're getting. Obviously, we're getting the end to the Skywalker trilogy and the Skywalker saga with Episode 9 coming out this year. And then on top of that, we also have other shows like The Mandalorian, the first live-action Star Wars show, which I'm super excited for. And then obviously we have the Return of the Clone Wars, we have the Resistance TV show, and then we have some maybe rumored trilogies. So I think LEGO is going to completely focus and home in on the new content, and I'm on board with that. Obviously, the Star Wars that we know and love is definitely very reminiscent, very cool, but I'm also really eager to see the new stuff and the new content coming out of the Clone Wars era and the Mandalorians and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think LEGO's going to be coming back to Solo and Rogue One. Maybe once here and there for like a little throwback set, like a remake of a Y-Wing or a Battle Pack or whatever, but I don't think we're going to be getting that much, if any, sets coming in the future. Next question here comes from Lego Soldier 82. My question is, what time frame is reasonable amount of time to take a break between making larger mocks? So obviously, the fans of the channel, or if you guys do not know, I am a big mock builder. I like to build pretty big displays in my opinion, and it gets tiring. I'm definitely, whenever I finish a project like Crate or Kessel, like Lego Soldier 82 mentioned, I definitely like to take a break, not only to recuperate my wallet, but also to just like take a mental break, because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work building big mocks. So I'd say whether or not you are building the mock for yourself just for pleasure, or building with a friend, or if you are somebody like myself who does YouTube, who equally prioritizes the mock and also the mock build series videos where people can watch with you, I would say that definitely probably like a month is probably about right, at least for me. Obviously, with my big projects, I like to take a break after, because my wallet is hurting, and not only my wallet but also my brain. So I like to take a step back after I'm done building a large scale mock, mostly to get inspiration for the next one and to really start working on that. For example, Kessel's been done for a little over a month now, I believe, but I've also been really working hard at LDD, trying to get some new designs for an axis going, and just sort of talking with other people about what I'm going to be building. So I'd say like anywhere between 3 weeks to a month is probably going to be ideal for me. Now obviously that also depends on what you deem a big mock. It could be maybe a 1 gray base plate for you can be big, but not for me. So it kind of all depends on what you sort of think with that. Last question for today comes from TheBrickWiz. What is your best advice for mockers trying to be more successful and make bigger mocks? Now, I get this question a lot, surprisingly, and the answer isn't anything crazy. I think most obviously you're going to need the physical space, whether it be your Lego studio room, whether it be your dining room, whether it be your own bedroom, to actually build these mocks. Again, that kind of depends on what you're thinking of a big mock. Like for me, it's going to be at least a 2x2. For someone else, it could be 1 gray. For someone else, it could be 2 gray. Like, more importantly, obviously you're going to need either an existing part collection or a job or just sort of some source of money, whether that be like your birthday money or whatever, but you're going to need some money saved up for sure, in my opinion. And I guess also the biggest thing is going to be the learning curve between making a smaller mock and a bigger mock. Obviously, with smaller mocks, you have a smaller area to work with, and that way you can devote more pieces from your collection into that mock itself and not kind of have to worry too much. However, when you do dive into those bigger projects, when you have base plate upon base plate upon base plate, you're going to have to take a step back. You're going to have to really look at what you're doing, how to plan ahead, and I think it's going to be the biggest thing, switching from smaller mocks to bigger mocks, is definitely planning ahead and knowing what you're going to be doing. Also, not getting discouraged is going to be a huge thing because, as you guys know, you can spend hours or weeks even on a certain aspect of a mock, a big mock, and then you could kind of put it in the grand scheme of things, and then all of a sudden it's like nothing got done. That's also something that I felt with Kessel, which is why I took a break during Kessel mid-season. So I would say those are the biggest things, but honestly, just go for it, man. Building big mocks is fun. I love it, and I would say just do it. So guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for asking your questions. Of course, if I did not get to you guys, please be sure to comment down below again so I can remember to get it for the next week's video. Stay tuned tomorrow for Brick Fair North Carolina vlog part 1. It's gonna be lit. I absolutely love editing it. It's gonna be a super fun vlog. And then later at that night, probably around like 8 or 9, I'm gonna be live streaming on this channel, opening some battle packs. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great time. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.